Huge Amazon warehouses being built in Pasco are now months behind schedule on opening. Tonight, we're hearing some concerns from business leaders, plus what Amazon has to say about their timeline.
Hide the garbage cans, hold down the trampoline. It's going to be a windy night with a high wind warning in effect until 10 a.m. tomorrow morning.
And President Biden makes a surprise visit to Ukraine as we are nearing 1 year from the day Russia invaded.
Now, KAPP local news at 5.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Alyssa Warner. This afternoon, Washington lawmakers heard more testimony, both for and against, a proposal to loosen restrictions on police chases. So police reform laws enacted over the past few years in Washington mean that officers can't chase suspects in most circumstances. Officers and many city leaders say that people are now refusing to stop for police. Criminals are getting bolder.
Right now, too many suspects are simply driving off, sometimes in a dangerous manner, as you've heard, because they know they won't be pursued. This makes our residents feel unsafe.
It is not harm reduction or protection of the public. It is elevation of obedience to authority and value of property over the value of human life.
Now, lawmakers have already made some changes to the proposal. They're trying to strike a balance and setting it to expire after 2 years if this proposal passes the legislature. Now, we're also continuing to learn more about a shooting in Grandview involving a deputy that left a 29-year-old man dead. KVEW's Emily Goodell is tracking that.
The Yakima Valley Special Investigations Unit says the Yakima County Sheriff's deputy was responding to a call for help from another law enforcement agency when he shot and killed the 29-year-old man. Authorities say it started as a noise complaint with someone calling 911 just before 11:30 a.m. Friday about a naked man with a firearm allegedly making a disturbance at an apartment near West 4th Street and Avenue J in Grandview. Grandview police arrived and put out a call for reinforcements. While there, authorities say the man waved a firearm in the air and fired multiple shots. About 50 minutes after the officers arrived, authorities say radio traffic indicated the man had fired shots and an officer had also fired his weapon. It's unclear where the man's shots were directed or who shot first, but authorities say the 29-year-old man was struck by gunfire and fell back into the apartment. Officers rendered first aid, but the man died at the scene. Per policy, the deputy involved has been put on administrative leave. I spoke to YVSIU officials who say the name of the man who was killed and the name of the deputy involved should be released on Tuesday. We'll continue to keep you updated as we learn more on our website, yaktrinews.com. Reporting, I'm Emily Goodell, KAPP Local News.
Thanks, Emily. We could see the wind in her shot. We can hear it outside. Jeff Jacobs is here. It keeps coming.
It really turned, didn't it? Yeah, you can even see our live camera outside overlooking Yakima. You can see the camera every now and then kind of shake. We're seeing the same thing in Tri-Cities on our Legend Skycam network. Yeah, we're in for a windy night out there as we look and see this. What's going to be impacting us is high wind warning that's in effect right now through much of our area until 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Gusts up to 65 miles per hour overnight tonight. And those cold temperatures are going to be coming in Wednesday this week as well. There you see the areas affected with a high wind warning. There is a high wind advisory, Yakima, lower Yakima Valley up towards Moses Lake. The rest of the area, yeah, 35 to 45 mile per hour sustained winds expected overnight tonight. So if anything outside isn't quite nailed down, now's the time to get it locked down. Skywatch radar, we see some rain shower activity over the mountain passes. That will change to a mixture of rain, snow as we move into this week as well for those higher elevations. Right now in the Tri-Cities, 52 degrees. The wind's kicking up to 22 miles per hour for the Tri-Cities. In Yakima, the breeze is still light, but that is going to change as well as we move into overnight tonight. 58 degrees. So stay close. We'll tell you more about all these major winds we have overnight tonight and exactly how cold it's going to get as we reach the middle of this week coming up.
Thanks, Jeff. Amazon made headlines with its plans to open 2 huge warehouses in Pasco, but tonight we are still waiting for that to actually become a reality. While we don't yet have a date on when the Pasco Amazon warehouses will open, a spokesperson has confirmed they've opened their first job position for a staffing administrator. KAPP's Riley Fitzgerald spoke to the Tri-Cities Development Council about their role in these projects. She explains why the council is concerned about the upcoming projects.
When it comes to Pasco's Amazon warehouses, we're still looking for answers on when these buildings will be in use. According to a spokesperson with Amazon, they've opened up that first job position for a staffing administrator, but they don't have a date yet on when these warehouses might open. Carl Dye, president and CEO of Tridec, says his organization has reached out and contacted Amazon as the regional economic development agency, but Dye says they haven't received much response.
We'd like to understand what their plans are, see what we can do to help in even their hiring or any of their other processes. That's what we do for businesses that relocate to the Tri-Cities. But so far we haven't been able to talk to them. So when we saw in local media that they actually made their first job announcement, we were surprised because we've seen some of the corporate announcements, that they've changed their distribution model, that they're in some parts of the country they haven't opened warehouses.
Dye says he looks forward to working with Amazon in the future and hearing more on when these warehouses might open. And according to Mike Gonzalez with the City of Pasco, the West warehouse will open first and then the East. He says they're committed to opening, it's just a matter of when. In Pasco, Riley Fitzgerald, KAPP KVEW Local News.
Thanks, Riley. We're sticking with Tri-Cities. In Richland, police say they've seen an increase in public drug use and paraphernalia over the past 2 years. Now, in 2021, the Washington State Supreme Court ruled the state's felony drug possession law was unconstitutional. Police say that's led to more people doing drugs. Our Madeline Hagan joins us in studio to tell us about the new city codes aimed at cracking down on public drug use. Maddie.
Alyssa, RPD said on Facebook that City Council passed 2 municipal codes both addressing public drug use. The first criminalizes the public use of controlled substances. The second makes it illegal to dump drug paraphernalia onto the ground or into a body of water. Richland PD saying, quote, these laws will be enforced vigorously and they're committed to taking back the community from drug users and people committing crimes in Richland. But is more arrests the solution to ending the drug crisis? Andrea Munder with Ideal Options says it can certainly be the beginning of someone's journey to sobriety.
If they come into the jail and they've recently used any sort of opiates, we have the ability to prescribe them some medications to kind of help them withdraw from those medications and then get them on something a little bit more long-term to help them with their sobriety.
Andrea says they continue to work with patients even after they're released from jail to ensure they can get back on track to a healthy life. We'll hear more from her during KAPP KVEW Local News at 6:30. And when the Bi-County Crisis Recovery Center opens, that will be an option for those dealing with substance use disorder, as well as law enforcement who will be able to bring individuals back to the center. Alyssa, back to you.
Maddie, making national headlines, President Biden made a surprise visit to Ukraine as a show of support nearly 1 year after Russia invaded. The president also announced more financial and military aid, even though polls show waning approval here at home. ABC's Justin Finch has a look at the numbers.
An historic day in Kyiv. President Biden making a previously unannounced stop in Ukraine's capital city with heavily armed police and army officers standing guard.
You see Joe Biden.
Ukraine's President Zelensky showing Biden his plaque, among others, honoring world leaders who stood with Ukraine in dark times. The two presidents also discussing that nation's path forward in its nearly year-old war with Russia.
Freedom is priceless. It's worth fighting for as long as it takes. And that's how long we're going to be with you, Mr. President, for as long as it takes.
The White House says the U.S. alerted Russian officials about Biden's travel to prevent potential conflicts. The surprise stop coming 1 day before Biden's Poland visit, where he's expected to give a speech to rally worldwide support for Ukraine.
The Ukrainians are now pushing back and taking back up to 50% of what the Russians took in the initial push. It is working.
But polling this month from ABC News and the Washington Post finds 33% of Americans saying the U.S. is doing too much for Ukraine. That's up from 14% last spring, and after many Republicans have insisted the U.S. won't give Ukraine a blank check.
That is an argument that this White House strongly rejects. They note that Ukraine isn't getting everything they have asked for.
Biden saying today there's now significant support in Congress for Ukraine. And the president spent more than 5 hours today in Ukraine with U.S. air surveillance planes keeping watch over Biden from Polish airspace. Justin Finch, ABC News, Washington.
Now, that latest round of military aid to Ukraine is valued at $460 million. It includes ammunition, anti-armor rockets, and secure communication systems. Again, President Biden is in Poland tonight. He's expected to speak there tomorrow morning. He's also facing some criticism for taking a trip to Ukraine before visiting the communities impacted by a train derailment and toxic chemical spill near the Ohio-Pennsylvania border. This was the scene earlier this month when a train derailed and caught fire. Now, while officials say testing shows contamination is below dangerous levels, people living there have complained about everything from sore throats and headaches to infections. State and federal health officials are planning to host an open health clinic tomorrow to try and address those concerns. And World News Tonight will have continuing coverage coming up tonight at 5:30. The TSA says it found a record number of guns in carry-on luggage last year, and it's not really clear why. TSA agents found more than 6,500 guns while processing carry-ons and personal items at security checkpoints last year. It doesn't just slow you and everybody else in line down while you wait for your bag to be inspected and have the gun removed. It can also get very expensive.
We will gradually increase the penalties to really reinforce to people to pay attention to the requirements, to the regulations that are out there, and make it safe and secure for everybody in their travel.
Guns don't belong on airplanes, they don't belong in the security area of an airport, and they certainly don't belong at our security checkpoints.
Now, right now, the maximum fine for bringing a gun to a TSA checkpoint, whether you've forgotten it in your luggage or not, is almost $15,000, and you might also lose pre-check eligibility for 5 years. That is a long time to be stuck in TSA lines, Jeff.
Yeah, that's a little bit of time spent there. Yeah. Hey, if you're a light sleeper, you might be in for a little bit of a rough night tonight. Yeah, we have this wind warning and wind advisory in effect right now. We're looking outside. We see all of this going on. Stay close. We'll tell you exactly how long this advisory and warning is going to last, how much in the way of gusts we're going to have tonight, and colder temperatures on the way. That's all coming up in your full forecast.
And still ahead on KAPP KVEW Local News at 5, we are tracking more devastating fires in West Richland and what you should do if you see smoke.
This is Ford Truck Month, America. Time to get into Ford F-150. All amped up and ready for work or play. Get 0 for 36 plus $3,000 low APR cash on a 2022 F-150 XLT at your local Ford dealer.
With so much at stake, so much on the line, more Americans turn here than any other newscast. ABC News World News Tonight with David Muir, America's #1 most watched newscast across all of television.
Coming up tomorrow at 5, we talk about high winds, mountain snow, and even a little snow here at home. I'll have the details in your forecast.
And we'll have details from President Biden's trip to Europe this week coming up tomorrow on Good Morning Northwest.
Now is the time for a new bath from Bathfitter. Every Bathfitter bath is installed quickly, safely, and beautifully with a lifetime warranty. Go from old to new, from worn to wow. The beautiful bath you've always wanted, done right, installed by one expert technician, all in one day. We've been creating moments like these for 35 years, and we're here to help you get started. Book your free virtual or in-home design consultation today.
It's a different kind of shooting range in the wilds of North Idaho.
We have a 3D archery range that is a trail through the woods. It's about a mile long.
Fly the Northwest.
We've got a 50-yard range, a 100-yard range, and a 200-yard range.
KAPP KVEW Local News at 6, Tuesday.
As I'm putting together my Plan Your Day forecast, I think about how it will impact your day. My goal is to be very clear so you'll know exactly what to expect.
Brianna Berman-Solo and First Alert Weather on Good Morning Northwest from KAPP KVEW Local News, helping keep you and your families safe.
Ford Escape. It offers bliss with cross-traffic alert. And it's an IIHS top safety pick. It's built for America. Get 0 for 36 months plus $1,000 low APR cash on an in-stock 2022 Escape only at your local Ford dealer.
KAPP KVEW, celebrating President's Day.
A week after fire destroyed a mobile home in West Richland, Benton County Fire District 4 responded to another mobile home fire just a few miles away. The damage to this one was also substantial, but no one was home and no one was injured. The captain with the fire district says, well, responders are fighting fires in small neighborhoods like this one. You need to keep some distance from the crew working to put it out.
Well, if they see something, obviously call 911, but if we're working, stay away, stay out of the way, don't drive by just to get a look or a better look. We're there for a reason, we have a job to do, so it's best to stay out of our way and let us do our job.
The captain says this fire might have been caused by a space heater, but it is too soon to confirm. He says the homeowners and the pets were all out of town and they have been notified. The LA Sheriff's Office says it's arrested someone accused of killing a Catholic bishop in his own home over the weekend. Auxiliary Bishop David O'Connell had served the Los Angeles community for almost half a century. He was described as a peacemaker who worked with everyone from immigrants to victims of gang violence. But an arrest today indicates the bishop's death may not have had anything to do with his religion or his work.
Detectives received a tip that there was a person of interest who resided in the city of Torrance. The person of interest was identified as Carlos Medina. Detectives were told by the tipster that they were concerned because Medina was acting strange, irrational, and made comments about the bishop owing him money.
Investigators say that suspect is married to the late bishop's housekeeper. Last year, the annual worldwide prayer event for Our Lady of Fatima was broadcast live from Nicaragua. This year, it was held in Yakima. Hundreds gathered in Yakima today to honor the Virgin Mary by her title, Our Lady of Fatima, in a procession to St. Paul Cathedral. In the Catholic faith, the title comes from the Virgin Mary's appearance to 3 children near a village in Portugal in 1917. Bishop Joseph Tyson says it's an honor for Yakima to have been chosen to host.
Our Lady of Fatima is mother for everyone. Our Lady's mother for everyone, and it's a great reminder that no matter where our actual mothers are, we have a spiritual mother as well.
We'll be talking more about these events coming up on KAPP Local News at 6:30.
Now, KAPP First Alert Weather with Jeff Jacobs.
Well, February isn't quite going to let us out that easy. And maybe that groundhog was right. We have a high wind advisory in effect in Yakima, the lower Yakima Valley, as well as up towards Moses Lake. We have a high wind warning in effect everywhere else. We'll get to that here in just one moment. Look at our Skywatch radar. We see some rain activity going on in the Blue Mountains, a little bit in the Cascades. We are going to see a mixture of rain and snow in those higher elevations as we move further into this week. Right now, back to our wind warnings. High wind warning in this entire area you see here in the kind of this turquoise color. We're looking at gusts up to 65 miles per hour as you see here. Sustained winds out of the west, 35 to 45 miles per hour. Now, here's some good news about that. If there's any good news, is at least it's not coming from the north where we would have a severe chill from that northerly wind. We do have it coming from the west, and these conditions expected to last overnight tonight. Yes, it's going to be a windy night, so get ready all the way until 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. All right, so that's the conditions going on with the wind overnight. As of right now, we're looking at these speeds around the area, anywhere from the teens even to the almost mid 30s here for 33 for Toppenish and Connell, 16 miles per hour being reported right now at the Pasco Airport, and variable actual wind speeds along the foothills of the Blue Mountains. Temperatures out there in the 50s. We're looking at 52 for the Tri-Cities. Yakima, a little bit warmer, 58 degrees, 52 Moses Lake, and then Hermiston right over the state line there at 53 degrees. Futurecast. Now let's watch as we move from right now in through this week and how we'll see actually more precipitation move into the area. We also see this mixture of rain and snow over the Cascades, a little bit of it over the Blue Mountains as well. See all of it kind of make its way in from Yakima to Tri-Cities towards Walla Walla throughout midweek. So yes, scattered showers are on the way along with those colder temperatures. Tonight, cloudy skies overnight. The temperature's not getting quite down to freezing, but we are looking at 41 degrees for a low for the Tri-Cities and 36 for Yakima, as well as Walla Walla and Milton Freewater overnight tonight. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy. We will start to see that mixture of rain and snow in the higher elevations. Okay, so be ready if you have to travel at all over the passes tomorrow or tomorrow night. 7-day forecast, 51 tomorrow for the Tri-Cities, and then that's when those cold temperatures start on Wednesday. We're looking at 35 and holding those 30s throughout much of this week. Overnight lows dipping down into the teens. And for Yakima, we're looking at 49 degrees for your Tuesday. Going to get that mixture of rain and snow in the higher elevations. Scattered showers down lower. Cooler temperatures down to 10 degrees around Thursday night and into the weekend right there into the mid-30s. More about your wind advisory and high wind warning coming up as well later on here in the show.
Thanks, Jeff. And next on KAPP Local News, hear why advocates say extending foster care benefits to young adults could pay off in a big way. That's next.
Portion of KAPP sponsored by Lord's Health and Trios Health, making communities healthier.
Movies are dreams that you'll never forget.
This is larger than any of us.
Like, we so amazing.
The stylish Chevy Equinox RS.
Like,
and Chevy Blazer RS.
So captivating.
You don't have to be an influencer to be an influencer.
The crowd go crazy.
The RS family of Chevy SUVs. Definitely worth a follow. Get 2.99% financing for 5 years on all 2023 Equinox models, or get $1,000 cash allowance on all 2023 Equinox models. Plus, current competitive owners get an additional $750 cash allowance.
Anyone can get injured at work.
At Bothwell and Hamel, we help workers from all walks of life get workers' compensation benefits.
Laborers, machinists, welders, carpenters, healthcare providers, office personnel, and more. If you were hurt, we want to help.
If you can't work, let us go to work to get you benefits.
Call toll-free 1-888-665-8630. Bothwell and Hamel.
For over 600 different premium cigars, including every cigar rated 95 and higher in the last decade. It's The Educated Cigar. For 115 different fine pipe tobaccos and 55 different briarwood pipes from England, Germany, and Italy. It's The Educated Cigar. For 95 and higher rated wines and White Bluff IPAs, it's The Educated Cigar in Richland.
You may be eligible for a new tax refund called the Working Families Tax Credit from the Washington State Department of Revenue. Those who qualify could get up to $1,200 back. Visit workingfamiliescredit.wa.gov.
Next ET. And Dolly We Trust. An entire episode of ET devoted to all things Dolly Parton.
Not a thing wrong with that.
Next ET.
Tonight at 7 on KAPP.
Prosser Memorial Health's Dermatology Center in Benton City is now offering 25% off select Juvederm fillers. This service helps reduce facial wrinkles, provides lifting and fullness, and can be used for lip enhancement. This offer is for a limited time. To schedule an appointment with PMH dermatologist Dr. Nylander and nurse practitioner Carmina Bowen, please call the Dermatology Center at 509-588-4555.
Tonight, a big development in the fight against HIV. Researchers in Germany say a 53-year-old man they're calling the Dusseldorf patient is the 5th person to be cured of the virus. ABC News reports all 5 people went through the same process. They got a stem cell transplant as part of blood cancer treatment. Researchers say this treatment is too risky to use in most cases, but they are hoping it may one day lead to a cure that works for everyone with HIV. Today, Washington state lawmakers considered a proposal to extend foster care services to young adults through their early 20s. So typically, of course, foster care ends when you turn 18. Washington already has an extension program offering young adults the option of more support as long as they follow certain requirements until they turn 21. Senate Bill 5230 would extend that assistance even further.
The only criticism, quite frankly, has been that the program ends at age 21, which would be like us cutting our own child off halfway through a BA. We would not do that. We know that age 21 is too soon, especially for young people to become self-sufficient, and especially for those who survive foster care.
Now, this program would not be cheap. It's estimated to cost around $33 million per year. But Advocates say every dollar spent on helping young adults transition from foster care to living on their own pays back almost 4 times as much. Speaking of 4 times as much, we've seen the wind go up 4 times as much, Jeff. We can hear it
gusting even in here in the studios. Yeah, and it's going to get even wilder tonight. Stay with us. We'll have a final look at your weather and talk more about this high wind warning that we are in right now coming up.
And still ahead tonight, President Biden makes an unannounced visit to Ukraine as Russia's invasion nears the 1-year mark. World News Tonight has a look at new aid announced by the president coming up at 5:30.
Portion of KAPP sponsored by Lord's Health and Trios Health, making communities healthier.
When you're driving, you really need to keep both hands on the wheel, both eyes on the road, and your handheld devices put away. But when someone else is careless, that's another story. Allen Brecky Law Offices has fought to protect public safety on our road.
Floor scuffs, tears, and nasty scratches. Forget them for good with Ruby Sliders, the chair leg covers that stretch to fit most chairs and make floor marks a thing of the past. Slide it here, slide it there, slide it anywhere. Just slip them on and keep your floors looking like new. They fit any size or shape furniture leg and glide effortlessly. Forget flimsy felt pads and caps that don't fit. Just stretch it on and slide it. Call or click now to get Ruby Sliders for as low as 99 cents with free shipping.
I just got the new Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra from US Cellular. With nightography, it can take selfies in low light. Click.
Amazing. Can it go back in the bag?
Yeah, it can go back in the bag.
Okay.
The new Samsung Galaxy S23, free for everyone from US Cellular.
A lot goes into taking care of your property. You need equipment with more versatility and #1 rated durability and owner experience built in. Like Kubota compact tractors that can do it all right, Z-Series mowers that deliver a quality cut, and the Sidekick utility vehicle built for hard work and fun at 40 miles per hour. Kubota equipment lives up to the highest standards. Yours. Visit your local dealer today.
Find a Kubota dealer near you at gokubota.com.
At Bruce Heating & Air, your comfort is our business. With over 30 years of professional HVAC experience for residential and commercial properties, you can rest assured your heating and air system is in good hands. In addition to providing quality heating, air conditioning, ventilation, and installation services, Bruce Heating & Air also houses a full-service sheet metal fabrication shop.
Now through March 31st, receive rebates up to $2,100 off on a new Daikin Fit system and thermostat when you finance through Bruce Heating & Air.
Your lucky numbers can win you $50,000 in cash during Wild Horse Resort and Casino's $95,000 Crack the Safe. Every Friday and Saturday in February, we're giving away cash and prizes, including your chance to unlock up to $50,000 in cash. Any combination can win. Start earning your entries today. This Sunday, one lucky winner will win $10,000 cash. More fun, more excitement, more chances to win. Wild Horse Resort and Casino, Pendleton, Oregon. More winners, more often.
Next Extra, Angela Bassett, Austin Butler, Jamie Lee Curtis, Oscar's biggest stars get royal love in London. Their night with Prince William and Kate, and how Helen Mirren honored the Queen. Next Extra.
Tonight at 7:30 on KAPP.
When you're driving, you really need to keep both hands on the wheel, both eyes on the road, and your handheld devices put away. But when someone else is careless, that's another story. Allen Brecky Law Offices has fought to protect public safety on our road.
A consumer alert, new data shows home prices are starting to drop significantly in some cities. Now, of course, most of the biggest price drops are happening in California, but hot markets like Boulder, Colorado, Boise, Idaho, and Austin, Texas are also seeing some significant drops. One analyst says you can blame this on backlash from the pandemic.
House prices rose very strongly during much of the pandemic, and we're just retracing some of those price gains. But nonetheless, for folks that have bought a home in the last 6-12 months, it's going to be somewhat painful because they're going to see the value of their home fall here pretty significantly.
Those prices may be falling because mortgage rates are still much higher than they've been in recent years, and people can't afford to pay as much because interest makes up a bigger piece of that monthly payment. Let's talk about the wind really quick. We can hear it howling outside, Jeff.
Yeah, crack the door open and these things fly in the studio here a few minutes ago. Yeah, good news if you raked all your leaves up yesterday. they're not your house anymore. Look outside. High wind warning in effect until 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Sustained winds 35 to 45 miles per hour in the areas you see in the turquoise. And then we also are going to have gusts up to 65 miles per hour. So keep that in mind as you are trying to get some sleep overnight tonight.
All right, we're going to hear it howl. World News Tonight with David Muir is next. KAPP Local News is back tonight at 6. And you can find the latest anytime on our website, yaktrinews.com.